Hello. Okay, so today we start string. Actually, there is no separate data type for strings in C, and they are treated as array of type character. Like in Python, there are separate data type for string, but in C there are no separate data type for strings. There you can say treated as array of type character. So you can say that in C the strings, you can say, are treated strings are treated as arrays of type char, and a character array is a string. You can say character array that is a string if it ends with, you can say, null character. If it's end with null character, and null means that is the character. So if we want to say, if I want to say, I have to write like that. I am giving some space here. So actually, if it is a character array, then that is a D, this is E, this is B, and here I am intentionally give a space, and Y A N, and automatically the last character, that would be nothing but a null character. That means it is 100, then 101, this is 102, this is 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108. That means each character that will take 1 byte, and compiler automatically insert. That means what we understood, that each character, here you can say each character that actually occupies 1 byte, each character that will occupies 1 byte, and you can say each character that will occupies 1 byte, and compiler automatically, and you can say that compiler that automatically insert the null character, insert the null character, you can say insert the null character at the end, at the end, so that you can say that is nothing but the string is behaving like that. So that we understood that string is like that. Now there, if you want to handle the string, if you want to take the input character from keyboard, there are different functions that we should use. So what are the different functions? You can say like get character, you can say like get CHE. These are the different characters that we can use. So what are the different characters? That means if we want to handle, that means if we want to handle, that means to handle input, what we can say? That means a character from the keyboard, we have following following four functions. What are the functions? Like you can say get cat, that one is a function. That means that particular function receives a character from the keyboard, and after entering the character we should press enter button, or you can say this is a get char or get chat. That is another thing. That means that particular function receives a character from the keyboard, and after entering the character the enter button need not to be pressed, but in case of get character, after entering the character we should press enter button. That is the difference. That means you should, you can say, you should, you can say press the enter button, enter, you can say button, but here you should not press this enter button. This is the difference. And another one, that is called get ch. Get ch, that will also receives a character from the keyboard, and after typing the character we need not press enter button. And of course this get ch, that would be in a different library file, and that is nothing but you can say this is nothing but placed in a ponio.h. But in our GCC compiler, if you write ch, that will give an error. That will give an error. So you should remember that uh, you can say we should not use that type of functions in when we are dealing with GCC compiler, or you can say or the modern compiler. So now the thing is that there is a thing that is called buffer. There is a thing that is called buffer. So if we talk about the buffer, what is buffer? That is a temporary storage area. You can say temporary storage area, that is called, you can say buffer. So all standard input and output devices contain an input and output buffer. What I am saying, that all standard, that means all standard input and you can say output devices, input and output devices that contain an input and output buffer, input and output buffer. Generally in standard C or C++, strings are buffered. Like you can say, for standard input, when we press the key on the keyboard, it is not sent to your program, rather it is buffered by the operating system till the time is allotted to the program. So how does it affect the programming? That means whenever you press something, it is not directly go to the program, it will first go to the buffer, and then when the program that needed that particular input, it will go to the program. So on various occasions we need to clear the unwanted buffer so as to get the next input in the desired container. So you have to clear that because previously you were using buffer, so it is always been better that if you can clear the buffer. So like that in C, in case of C, after your encounter scanf, if we need to input a character array or character, and in case of C++, after encounter cin statement, we require to input a character array or string. So for that we have to clear the input buffer, or what will happen, the desired input is occupied by buffer of the previous variable, and that is of course not desired. So there is a thing, that means what I am saying, that all standard input and output device contain an input and output buffer. So it is always been better that we should clear the buffer, and you can clear the buffer by using a flush stdin, by using this. That means what we can say, that after the scanf, after you can say scanf statement, you can say also we can clear the input buffer, but use of it is avoided and is termed to be undefined for input stream nowadays, but previously we can use this f+stdin standard input, and for that you can clear the buffer, but nowadays they will suggest that you should not use this f+stdin. Actually, what does it mean? A buffer like a f+, what will happen is nothing but transfer of the computer data from a temporary storage area to the computer permanent memory. And for instance, if we make any changes in a file, the changes we see on one computer screen are stored temporarily in a buffer. So generally they will ask you not to use this f+ this, but where this particular f+stdin is used, that is typically used for the output stream. That means the purpose is to clear the output buffer and move the buffer data to console or disk. That means f+stdin, that should not be used for taking the input. It is typically, you can say it is typically used, you can say, for output stream, typically used for output stream only, and its purpose is to clear or flush clear or flush the output buffer, clear or flush the output buffer, and move the buffered data to console. Console means or disk, or you can say disk, depending on the command that we use. So some compiler like Microsoft Visual Studio that will allow f+stdin, but some compiler may not allow this particular syntax. So there are different things by which you can use this clear the buffer, but the main thing that I want to discuss in the string chapter, that if someone asks you that what are the differences between strings and character array, you know by default a string will have static storage allocation, so the strings are initialized with null values, and by default a character array will not have static storage allocation. So character type of array are initialized with garbage value. That is the basic difference. What I am saying, that what are the difference between strings and character array? What are the difference between strings and you can say character array? So what I am saying, that by default the string will have a static allocation, and of course you know strings are initialized with the null value. So by default a character array will not have static storage allocation. So character type array are initialized with garbage value, and the two string of same value will share same memory location, but two array with same content will not share same memory, and that is one of the important thing. What I am saying, that two strings of same value, that will you can say share same memory location, same memory location, but two arrays two arrays with same content, that will not share same memory. Now if the question is like that, is space considered a character in a string? Yes, space is also treated as a character in the string, mind that. So you can say space, this space, that is also you can say treated as a character in the string, in the string. Like if you want to, you will see that strlen, that will nothing but the string length. That function is used to find the length of the string, and it counts space also as a character. The string length of the string, it you can say counts space as a you can say character. So you can say why strings are represented as character type array, because you know a string is represented as character type array ending with a null. So when a string is represented as character type array, it can be accessed wholly as a string or individual character. That's right. And of course, why the strings end with this null character? Of course, the characters in a string that are stored sequentially byte by byte in memory, you know that. So while accessing the string, it is required to know where the string ends, and where the string ends. For that particular purpose, that null is internally added as last character by the compiler to mark the end of the string, So the thing is that there are some library function, that is the important thing in respect of your normal WBUT as well as some interview purpose, that is called you can say library functions. And when you have to use this library function, you have to add the header file, you can say string.h, you can add string.h. Generally if we write the program, that is so how can two different strings variables with same value will have same memory locations? That is internally you can define like that. That means you are asking me, because what I am saying, that is the basic difference. That means two strings of same value will share same memory location, but two arrays with same content will not share same memory location. That means if in the examples is already been there, I am not writing this, but the two strings, say two strings, you can say two strings of same value share same memory location in C. I think there is an example by which I don't have to write the example. I think that is already been, that is a common example. Let's see. Just a minute, I think internet connection is slow. Whatever be the thing, if I will show you an example by which I think you will understood that how the two string will share the same memory location. Now the thing is that what I am saying about the first library functions, that is one of the important thing, that is called strlen, this particular function, strlen, that particular function. So the thing is that if we have to write this, that means has, you can say, include stdio.h, and I have to include string.h. So now if I want to just calculate the length, I just want to calculate the corresponding length of the function. Now if we want to calculate the length of the function, what we have to do? I have to write integer main, I have to write a character array where I want to store the string. Say printf, you can say enter a string, and if I want to enter it, I can use gets str, whatever string you can get, that would be stored in str, and by using printf I want to print length of the string is, this is unsigned, and I have to just use strlen str. That means this is the corresponding functions that we use. So, and this is nothing but return 0. So if we enter a string, that means if we enter a string, say my name, then it will give you the length of the string. That means the output should be length of the string 7. So the main thing is not like that, because it is very common that you have to just find, but in your exam or in interview they will ask you to find the length of the string, but without using, without using this library function. Without using library functions, you have to find the length of the string. So you have two different versions. One versions that is called the array versions, that you can say about the array version, and in array versions I am declaring a functions, say, that will return the length of the string, and that is nothing but the unsigned integer, and the name of the function is astrlen, and say the array is a character array str, this one is a character array, and I am just writing the function integer I, and this is the manual versions, right? Until and unless this particular string not equals to this null, I am just incrementing the value I. That means that will return the value I. That means if a string is like that, say D E P A Y A N, and there is a null character, so it will count, it will end at that particular point, and until and unless it will increment the value of I, so it will return the number of character, right, up to this, right? Or you can say, you can write like that. That means by using for loop, unsigned integer, say a str length, this is a character str, this one, and integer I can use the simple for loop like that, uh, simple as that, for I equals to 0 ai. You need not to write null character, automatically that will be end. If we write ai, that will automatically end when it reaches the null character, and I am giving a semicolon. That means that loop is going on until and unless a I is reaches to a null character, and it will return I. That is a simple thing that you can use. So let's see the true strings. You can say uh, whether they are in a same memory location or not. In that case, the string should not be like that. So I can it will be better that I can use a particular pointer. That means then it would be, I think, easier to show the location. Just a minute. Whether that is, I think, that be a example. I think we can show the particular example, whatever be the thing. The thing is that there is another there are lots of library functions, but the main, some of them are very much useful, like another one that is called strcpy. strcpy. Mm. So strcpy, that means that one is a copy, right? That one is means copying the content. So this function, you can say, this function is used for copying one string to another, one string to another. So that means that will copy one string to another string. If we write strcpy, if we write strcpy string 1 comma str2, that means that will copy str2, that will copies str2 to str1. That one is the main thing. So that one is one of the thing that I want to say, that string copy. So if we want to just write the string copy function by using, you can say, the library function, that is very easy, right? But just use strcpy. You are taking any two string and use just strcpy, but without using library function you have to use that. Like if you can write like that, say character a, that will ABCD and say another character array, say B, and now if we write B equals to A, that will give you compilation error. You cannot write directly. That will be compilation error, and that's why you have to write strcpy, but you have to write why strcpy B comma A. That means the A content will be copied to B. That will happen. But if I want to do the manual version, if we want to do the manual version, then what will happen? You can say so. Let's see the manual version because that has been asked. Say this one is a void ASTRCPY. This is a character, this one is a destination, and say this one is a character, that is the source, right? So this is nothing but destination and this is nothing but source. Then what we have to do? What you have to do? Integer I have to just I equals to 0, si, this is the source, and I plus plus, and I am copying each and every content. That means di equals to si. That means the content from si that would be copied in di. And as well as after completion of this for loop, what will happen? This di would be forcefully written as a null, right? So the thing is that now there is another thing, that means you can say the string concatenation. The string concatenation. What is this? I want to concatenate two strings. So strcat, that is nothing but string concatenation. So what do you mean by concatenation? That means what I want to say, that if this is an array x, y, z and say a character b, that is a, b, c, d. If I use str cat b comma a, then what will happen? If this is an array b, the result should be a, b, c, d. This is automatically written, and then I want to concatenate x, y, z and then null. That should be the result that I want to know. So that is well and good if you are using the string concatenate, then it's well and good. But how can you write the manual version? That is the thing that I want to know. So if we write the array versions, that means that I want to do, that means there are two array, so that will not return, it will just concatenate. So I am just writing the my functions like that, character d and this one is a character s, and say integer l and I. So first what we have to do, first initially what will happen, this is a b, that means this is a, b, this is a c, d, and there is a null character. That means first I have to reach this null character and then this x will be replaced there. So first I have to go, say L equals to 0, I have to go to the DL, that means destinations. In that case that is a B and this is a semicolon, that means now this L is pointing there, right? Now what will happen? I am taking another for loop. Already I completed this for loop, that one is another for loop, I equals to 0. It will run up to until and unless the source string. Source string means this one is a source string where X, this is Y, this is Z and Y. Now this is pointing I. This content will be copied to this one that I want to do. That means finally I will be incremented as well as L will be incremented, and I am just doing like that. DL is equals to SI, and until and unless we reach the null string it will stop, and finally what will happen, that will be embedded with the null character. So that is nothing but the two things, right? So uh, so that is the thing যেটা আমরা বলছিলাম. Now there is another thing that is called, there are different types of inbuilt functions. We should encounter some of this, like strupr, string upper. That means that will convert from lowercase to uppercase. So like a character A, and it should be like that, A, B, C, say D 5 to hash. Now if I use strupra and then I just write puts A, the output should be A, B, C, D 5 to hash. But of course I don't want that, because that is a simple library function. What I want, I just want to write, that is called the without using this library function. So if we want to write this without using this library function, I just name the function as void strupr. This is an array because only one array is needed, and integer I. Now what will happen? I am just running a for loop for I equals to 0, ai and I plus plus, and what I want to say, that if this ai is greater than equals to a and ai, or you can say less than equals to z, you can say, or then you just subtract the thing, ai minus equals to ai minus equals to b minus b, or you can write 32 because the difference between the lower case and the upper case, that is 32. That is dependent upon you. Either you can write like that, either you can write. So this is the simple. If the character should be between a small a and the small z, then you can say that would give you the lowercase to uppercase, and if you do the reverse thing, that will convert from the uppercase to lowercase. So that's our very simple. Now the next thing, that is one of the important thing, that is called str reverse. You have to reverse the thing. That means if we say a array that is nothing but abc, you can say str reverse a, and if you write puts a, then that will give you output as a cba. That will give you the output as a cba. Now if we do the corresponding thing, that means if you want to do the reverse, Reverse, that doesn't mean that you are just printing the letter just a reverse wise. It will also change the content of the array. That means if you just want to say that I am just traversing the array and from the back side you are just printing the value, that is not reverse. Reverse means if this one is a B, C and null, that means that will be replaced like that. That means this one is a C, this one is a, then it become reverse. So if this is the even number, you can say like, you can say A, B, say C, D and null, then that would be replaced like that and that will be replaced like that. That means this is D, this one is A and this one is a C, this one is a B, and that is makes the reverse. So I have to do like that. So how can we write the reverse function? If we say that void str reverse, and you can say the character a, say integer il, say I am writing for I equals to, say l equals to 0, al l plus plus, and that means I am going to the last one. That means that l pointer is pointing to this. And now what will happen? I equals to 0 and that will be running up to L by 2 and I plus plus. What I am doing? I am swapping the thing. I am just swapping. Swapping, you can use add and subtraction for swapping. You can use the bitwise operator for swapping. I am using like that. You are just swapping. AI equals to AI plus A of L minus I minus 1. You are adding the thing. L minus I minus 1, that would be equals to AI minus A of L minus I minus 1, and AI, that is equals to AI minus A of L minus I minus 1. Just a simple addition and subtraction, and the swapping is done, and that will make you the reverse. So that is one of the important thing. Now one of the important functions by which you can compare the string, what I am saying, that means if the two string has the same value means you can say what I am saying about that. That is not only about the memory locations, because you can say what I am talking about in that particular case. That's why I am just left that particular question. What I am saying here, that means if this is a particular string, if this is a, you can say, particular string of the same value that will share the same memory location. What does it mean? That means that can be checked by the function strcmp, but there is a catch. That will compare, you can say, that will compare between string but by lexicographically order. Lexicographical comparison, or you can say that is nothing but for dictionary order. So like that, like A is equals to, say, A, B, C, D, E, F and null. This one is a string and B is another string, say A, B, C, D and null. If we do strcmp A comma B, that will compare between string lexicography and what is the first unmatched character, that is E and null. So that will give you return the ASCII value difference between these two characters. That means 69 minus 0, that will return 69. That means if the result that will come out a positive, that means the first string is greater than second string. It doesn't matter, the first string length of the first string is greater than second string, that is not the issue. The issue is if we put the string in a dictionary order, which strings will come first and which one is come second? That one the main important thing. So uh, now the thing is like, so this one is a lexicography order. That means if this is a negative, that the first string that will be less than second string. That is not length, right? That is nothing but the order. And if this is a 0, that means you can say this is a first string that is equals to second string. That means you can say that is a lexicographically ordered. Lexicographically ordered. So the thing is that, so if we do it in a different way, like if we do the manual versions, then that should be like that. That means if I write a function that will return integer, because that will return the, you can say, the ASCII value. If this is a string compare function, this one is a character A and this is another character, say character array B, and say integer I for I equals to 0, when the both string that will reaches null, both string that will reaches null, until and unless that will loop will goes on. And if this first unmatched character, that means AI is not equals to BI, first unmatched character, it will break the from the loop and that will return, you can say, the value AI minus PI. That is a simple thing that I want to do. So now they will, there are lots of stuff that you can do with the string, like uh, in your exam that may come, that like strncpy, that means that will copies, you can say, in characters exactly in characters from source, that will exactly in character from source, যতগুলো ক্যারেক্টার দেবে সেইগুলো ক্যারেক্টারকেই রিড করবে. So there are in string concatenation, in comparison, lots of things are there. So that is one of the important thing that we should discuss. Now there are lots of string scan, sprintf, that's it, lots of things, but I just uh, uh, tell you that you should at least do some program, like it will be better that write a program to test whether a string is palindrome or not. I think you know the, like madam, that is a palindrome string. So whether you have to check whether this is a palindrome or not. Another thing that you can say, that uh, if someone gives enter like that, that I love to read books, the output should be like that, I E V O L O T, like that, or the output should be like that. এটাও করে দেখবে, ওয়ার্ডস গুলো একই থাকবে বাট উল্টে যাবে. সো ইনপুট যদি এরকম দাও তাহলে আউটপুট যেন এরকম আসে অথবা এরকম আসে। সো ট্রাই করে দেখতে পারো যে এটা পারো কিনা। সো দ্যাট ইজ দ্য ডিফারেন্ট থিংস যেটা আমরা সাধারণত করি। যে স্ট্রিং নিয়ে যদি আলোচনা করা হয় তাহলে স্ট্রিং নিয়ে আরও অনেক পয়েন্টার বেশি আলোচনা করা যাবে, সেটা পরে। বাট বেসিক জিনিসগুলো জেনে নিলে একটা সুবিধা হয় যে একটা ওভারভিউ ধারণা থেকে যায়, অ্যান্ড আফটার দ্যাট তার উপর যদি পয়েন্টার দিয়ে করা হয় দেন এগুলো বুঝতে অনেক সুবিধা হয়। দ্যাট ইজ নাথিং বাট দ্যাট। সো দ্যাট ইজ ওয়ান অফ দ্য ইম্পর্টেন্ট থিং দ্যাট আই ওয়ান্ট টু সে। সো আজকে আপাতত এই পর্যন্তই থাক, আমরা আবার পরে এটা নিয়ে ডিসকাস করব। আচ্ছা, যাই হোক মুর্শিদ, তোমাদের অ্যান্সার ফ্যান্সার আমি পরে দেব যদি এরকম হয়। এ আর বি কি ভেরিয়েবল? এ আর বি ভেরিয়েবল হলে তো কোনো কোশ্চেন নেই, বাট যদি স্ট্রিং হয় তাহলে তো লিখতে হবে আলাদা করে। সো এটা আপাতত এতদূর পর্যন্ত থাকবে, আমরা পরে এইগুলো নিয়ে ডিসকাস করব।